Hey guys, how you doing? Today, I'm going to show you something else that blew my mind when I learned it as a teacher. And we're talking years ago. This is common practice now. You see a lot of students learning it. It's great. It's accessible. It's called an area model or the box method when multiplying multi-digit numbers. I didn't personally learn it. We're talking back 35 years ago when I was in elementary school. But when conceptual mathematics started to come around, gain a lot of popularity, it's a method that came to the forefront. It's easy, it's accessible to students, and I just want to give you a quick example of it today. So we're going to start with a problem of 23 times 56. So I have 23 times 56. 23 times 56. What I'm going to do first is decompose my numbers, and that means I'm going to break them down into tens and ones. My 23 is going to be a 20 and a 3. And my 56 is going to be a 50 and a 6. Now I draw my box. You see I have 4 squares because I have 4 digits up there. And now we get onto the basic multiplication part. If a student is struggling with multiplication, this just makes this type of problem a little more accessible, but you want to be sure to go back and teach them the place value concepts behind it, which again is very important. But I find this helps get the ball rolling because now they're seeing the numbers in tens and ones as opposed to the standard algorithm where they're just multiplying and going through. So what we're going to do first is multiply to find the number that goes in this box. And to make it a little bit easier, what I typically tell my students to do is let's look at the number at the front. All right, we have a 5 and a 2. And I know that 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. And then I'm going to take the 2 zeros that I had here and I'm going to add them back in. So now I know 50 times 20 is 1,000. And again, later, once they can start modeling this out, we're going to talk about how that's 5 tens times 2 tens. And we'll start really breaking down and getting into that so that they can see where this 1,000 comes from instead of seeing it as 5 times 2 and then adding 2 zeros, which we see a lot of people doing but isn't giving the fundamentals behind it. Anyhow, so for our next box, I'm going to do 5 times 3. And 5 times 3 is 15. And I'll add in that 0 again. Then again, just reiterating the point to go back and make sure that you talk about how you're doing 5 tens times 3. Show that, draw it out, use some Cuisenaire rods, blocks, whatever works for you. We'll go down to the next one, and we're going to do 6 times 20. And I know 6 times 2 is going to be 12. And then I'll just bring my 0 in. And for the last box, I have 6 times 3, and that's 18. What we do here now is we add. We just have to take our 4 numbers and add them back up. So typically what I'll do after this is I'll write them down in order from largest to least. So I'll write 1,000, 150, 120, and 18. And add them up. 0, 0, 0, 8. 5, 2, 1 is 8. 1 and 1 is 2. And then 1 is 1,000. So your answer is 1,288. 1,288. And I'll follow up with the standard algorithm version of this. But again, this is a quick and easy way to make this type of multiplication accessible to students. But you need to be sure that once they understand the process, you go back and you teach them the meaning behind why you could do 5 times 2 and then add the 2 zeros. What does that 5 and the 2 really represent? In this case, they're representing tens. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Hope everybody has a good weekend. See you again soon.